Hey Legend Crew, welcome back to another episode of Legend Ethics Share Dreams. This gentleman over here, his name is Jonathan Tanigaki. We're on the same ACE management team.
Yes, we are.
And before we started this episode, I was actually trying to I couldn't remember how we first met. And Jonathan reminded me that we actually met at an audition.
Yeah.
Which was funny enough. Because our manager, Scott, he's always posting pictures of the different actors on the ACE team and stuff like that. And so we recognized each other, and we're sitting in the room across from each other,
right back to front to front. And
yeah,
we're like,
and I think
I should know. Like, I definitely know. We know each other. We definitely know each other.
We were kind of just staring at each other for a second, like, I should know him. Where have I seen that face before? Where do I know him?
Yeah.
And it was funny. We were going out for the same role. We haven't had that occurrence again, unfortunately. I mean,
yeah, no.
If we had more acers going out like that.
I think. I mean, they're always like something like that. There's always a few of them getting together or something like that, but I think a lot of the times it would just be the time difference.
Yeah,
so I think we definitely had like the same audition,
just
at one point, just in different time frames.
Yeah, but that was funny. I mean, that's the first time meeting.
No, that was definitely the first time.
And then since then we've been to different ACE events, Asians on Film, film festivals and stuff like that. Just like Josiah, because Josiah actually works with Jonathan a lot. So a lot of mutual friends going on. It's pretty cool.
It's a small, tight-knit community. It's
it is.
Cool,
yeah. But yeah, so go ahead and tell everyone where you're from and stuff like that.
Cool. So my name is Jonathan Tanigaki, as just said. I'm originally from New Jersey. I went to school in New York City. I went to AMDA. I studied musical theater there, which is pretty interesting. Worked there for a little bit, did a few shows, did like Cats, Newsies, Suicide Forest, all that stuff. And then in the middle of doing show Newsies, Scott, our manager, emailed me and was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "Who's this guy?" And he's like, "I manage Asian acting agency." And I'm like, "This white guy does that all the agency stuff." But then also there's Eric, so it balances out really well. So then I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll look him up for a little bit." I was like, I don't know, because I had an agency in New York, but so then Scott was like, just come over for a week. We have this event going on, ACE event, and I went there for a week, hung out, saw what's around, and I was like, I love LA. I think I'm definitely going to move there. Yeah, I think this is the next step that I need to do. And after that, I've been blessed to meet like such awesome people, there's a lot. I've been blessed to meet such nice people, such awesome collaborators, everyone very real, very honest.
Yeah.
And that actually surprised me because like coming from New York, everyone's really blunt and like, yo, just do this, do that. And then they're nice, but you also like can't just talk to a random person on the street. But like in LA, you can just be like, "Hey, what's up? Have a nice day. I don't know you, but like you seem like a nice person." So like that's kind of eye-opening for me. I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. And I've been loving it ever since.
That's cool. And well, I mean, that's with the business that we're going into. There are people that can be cutthroat.
Yeah, no,
absolutely,
that's true.
100%.
That's true.
You know, but what's cool about the actors that we have mutually worked with, there are other members on the ACE team that, I mean, there's one thing with working with someone on set, and there's a different aspect of hanging out with them outside of work. There's some that I would just work with them, and that'd be
like work friends.
Because you can definitely tell. I mean, there are some that are just purely business, and that's all they're looking for. But then there are some that are genuinely good people and genuinely nice people. So I mean, it's always refreshing to meet people like that in our business. You know?
Yeah, it's like it has really nice community, and also when it's not a competition. It's like, I guess if anything, it would be a healthy competition. But I root for the people that I like just as much as myself getting part. Yeah. Like, if someone else gets it and like we're buds and everything, that just helps all of us up anyway.
On our ACE team, absolutely.
Exactly. And like I even just for what we represent as Asians and Asian community, for me more specifically, it'd be like Japanese, half Taiwanese. So it would be stuff like that. And anything that helps, and as long as it's truthful and deserving, then I can't complain.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I mean, what kind of led you into, I mean, going into the musical theater, acting, I mean, everything? I mean, that's...
So I I always like wanted to get into film or something, but it wasn't because I liked film or anything. I just really liked stories, and like I really wanted to be in the story. So there were a few things where like growing up I was like, man, I just wish I was in Jurassic Park. And not get eaten, but like just look at a dinosaur. That's so freaking cool. And then there'll be other shows that came up that's like really cool, like obviously Harry Potter, Hunger Games and all that. But what really like knocked me was I watched Maze Runner with a group of my friends, and one of the guys in the background that was like doing flips and all that, he was like, hey, that guy looks like that should have been you. Like one of my friends was like, why aren't you in that? And I'm like, why aren't I in that? And Ki Hong Lee is also one of the like lead Asians in that, and I saw him first in Wong Fu Productions, and I was like, oh cool, like he's just like a guy just like on the internet like creating, and then all of a sudden like I see him on like the big screen, and back then you didn't see people that came like starting up and become like movie stars. And now, because of social media, because of the internet and all that, it's possible to have those dreams come into fruition with just anybody, with people that are like Viners all become like lead Hollywood people, and like TikTok is the thing now that everyone's kind of coming on board. But YouTube is such a great way, the internet is such a great way of having content of your own be shown and really have that audience together, and then you can really build something from that.
And as you said, I mean, tell those stories that we so wanted to
exactly
tell.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So I mean, when you came out to LA, what would you say was an obstacle that you faced pursuing acting? I mean, obviously it's very different from New York.
Oh yeah, for sure. When I was in New York after I graduated, I did a few short films, I did a few theater things, like I said, and at one point I felt like I reached the kind of the roof and I was waiting for the next step. Because sure, I really always liked musicals and everything, but I really did go there because I liked them, but also for the training of learning how to sing, dance, gymnastics, all that, along with acting. And that was all for the sake of making stories and creating content on film. So that's what I always wanted to do in LA. But I think the hardest thing was just kind of getting used to that LA's also just another city. And even though it's LA and it's Hollywood and has so many like A-listers, and that's where everything happens, that's where everyone is, it's like at the end of the day, everyone is doing their own thing, and don't get distracted on what other people are doing, and don't get distracted in wanting to be part of what everyone else is, because that will come, the time will come. And I think the hardest thing was like finding the kind of your niche in your groove of like what you want to do, and you have to like take that own risk of doing your stuff, your own thing, while training and doing things for like those other big auditions. Or it's what can you be doing in the meantime. I think you can't just be waiting, you can't just
100%.
be and I think when I came here, I was just at one point I was like, I should be doing something, I don't know what, but I'm just going to figure out and try to do my own thing, because I always see everyone else doing their thing, and I'm like, I want to do that too. I want to do martial arts, I want to do like, I want to sing this, I want to do that, I want to be like, I know, something anime, something, I love anime. And you get caught up in it, and then you realize that time passes, and then you're like, you know what, I have this cool idea, let's make it happen. If whoever's on board, that'd be cool if there's people on board, but if they're not, doesn't matter, I'll just keep going and keep pursuing. And that's kind of the mindset that you have to be in to be here.
I like that.
And I think that's what everyone here is doing. You're doing it, everyone in ACE is doing it. All the actors that I meet, they're such good inspirations, and I see them hustle. And what I take from everyone, rather than getting caught up in what they're doing and being like, oh man, I wish I was in that, is, man, that's really inspiring that they're just doing that from just their own pocket, just from what they're thinking of, from their own connections, and I'm like, I could be doing that. So
Yeah.
I gather all this inspiration from all these people that do that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's like you're saying, you can't necessarily compare yourself to
Yeah.
other people in terms of their successes and in terms of their process. Because as we're talking about, there are no blueprints
Yeah.
to success, and particularly in a very, as you said, abstract
Yeah.
venture of sorts. I mean, so you just have to be proactive. That's
Yeah.
the bottom line, is being proactive.
Proactive and whatever.
And,
you do.
finding those assets that work best for you, and use them to your advantage.
And also, everyone has their own path to things,
Yeah.
and you forget that some people are younger, some people are older, and some people have been through experiences that
Yeah.
you don't know about, or training, or just in the business more. So a lot of that is just like, you have to understand that your own path, your time will come.
Yeah.
It just being prepared for it, and
Yeah.
also working before that time comes as well.
Yeah.
And then also after that time passes, what will you be continuing doing? Because obviously things don't last forever here. In fact, everything goes really, really quickly. So you gotta just be on top of it, on top of your A game, and just keep pretty
Absolutely.
much hustling, but also have a balance of that and patience.
LA is always on the verge of what's new, what's up and
Exactly,
coming.
yeah.
And that's also what gives us potentially the opportunity of playing these lead characters in
Exactly, yeah.
whatever kind of movie or TV series or whichever. So it does open up itself to more opportunities.
Yeah.
Which is nice. But like you said, just be 100% ready for it.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
until then, be patient. I like that. What would be a tip that you can give the viewers in terms of chasing their dreams, no matter what it may be?
So it's kind of funny that I get this question a lot, especially from back home, from a lot of my, like on the East Coast, because
Yeah.
LA, everyone knows kind of the shtick. But on the East Coast, in New Jersey, there was no film, there was no nothing. And even in the New York sense, obviously there's film with film schools and everything. But compared to here, there's not that type of community. I think the first thing to do is find what inspires you, find that story that really motivates you, and see why you feel something from that. And you can garner an audience through that. Like if you have a story about like pets, or about how much a pet means to you, or how much like a cat for some reason like means to you as much as like a human would, your audience would be pet owners, your audience would be people that love animals. So there's something there.
Yeah.
And I think from that, you can gather your story and be in an environment where you can support that story. I think that's another really big thing, is you have to be in a place for you to grow, and with people that'll help you to grow. So if you have, let's say, the 5 closest people that you encounter with every day represent kind of who you are. So if you're with 5 people that don't hustle, that are lazy around, you'll probably have that a little bit in you as well. Like if you have people that really push you forward, really motivate you, they're doing their own thing, so you're like, oh, I gotta do my own thing, I gotta catch up. That really gets you in the door, and that along with the environment. Like there's a difference between working out in your room and working out at a gym. It's like night and day.
Yeah.
So being in that environment, that means either going to New York or LA. Some people don't understand that, but it's like there's a community here, and it's probably one of the strongest or biggest, most influential communities. So might as well shoot your shot by going in that direction, because you really, it's doable to be in an environment that doesn't have that, but I feel like you can grow so much when you have the right place for it, the right tools that you have, and the right people. And once you kind of mix all that, then you meet the right people that are fit for what you want in your vision, and you also become something that other people see, and that they might want to put you into their stuff. So it becomes that kind of give and take, and it's not even just like, oh, it's a business. It's more of like, a community of artists that want to collaborate.
Yeah.
And once you kind of understand and get that groove in, I think when you're in that mentality, in that place, it really opens your eyes and shows that like, okay, like this is where I'm meant to be and this is how I get there. And also for starting with acting, I think a good thing is to use like the websites, build up your resume, get an agency or a manager or something like that and get credits. And then that's like a target.
Yeah.
So there's like 1, 2, 3. If you're on the outside, how to get on inside, and that first step is like building a resume, because they won't really see you if you don't have a resume. Go to acting classes. You have to be a good actor.
Yeah.
In that you have representation of some sort, because those will give you opportunities that you didn't have previously, and then like so on and so forth. It gets smaller and smaller. Some people go from here to like middle, but then they don't know how to handle it, so they go back out. So it's really just like that process of knowing how the business works, balanced with how to have that artistic integrity.
Yeah. I mean, but it's definitely step by step. It's it's baby steps, because it's like you said, it hitting that bullseye. I mean, that's A-list acting right there. But there's steps along the way to get there. But each of those steps, as you accomplish those, it really does make a huge difference. The resume, demo reel, good headshots, acting school, all of those. I mean, they do need to be top notch. You have to be on top of those, because everything nowadays is on the internet, so it's self-submissions and stuff like that. And as our manager says, I mean, when we submit for these roles, for example, if I were to self-submit for a role, that's different than Scott submitting me for that same role.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, because on the website, it's seen that the actor who's represented by this person and then the actor who's self-submitting, this person automatically gets bumped down on the list, and they might not even get to that person. They might even not look that far down the list, because there's these many people submitting for the roles.
And it'd just be small things like, oh, they don't have a slate shot on their photo, so like that bumps you down all the way. If you have a slate shot, you're all the way up to the top.
Exactly.
Something as simple as that.
Exactly. So I mean, it's all these little things that you have to be aware of. But if you achieve each of those, and doing so just step by step. I mean, I know it can be very overwhelming at first, but do it step by step. Say today, okay, well, I'm gonna meet up with my rep, put together a demo reel, you know, and then on this day, okay, we set up a day for a photographer. Let's get some good headshots. Have the manager select top 5 or something like that, and step by step, and eventually, I mean, you're going to be submitting for these roles that, and as you said, we're going out for probably some of the same projects.
Some of the same stuff, and
some of them
big,
are exactly, which is the amazing part. I mean, when I first came out to LA, I never thought like
that's literally the same thing. Like,
you know?
when the first time I came out here, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then like the first thing that Scott submitted me was like a really big thing, and I was like, I didn't get this in my New York manager. I'm not gonna say who, but like, I was like, where has this been the whole time? I was like, dang, I think I made the right decision here. Whether you get it or not, you have that opportunity to just go in the door, make an impression, meet with the casting people.
Exactly.
And they remember you, or at least if you make an impression, then they might get you for something else.
Exactly.
That's happened before too.
Exactly, So, any final thoughts before we wrap up this episode? Anything else you'd like to share about your experience? Any other tips or whatever?
I'd say everything's with a balance with anything when it comes in life. You have to balance your work, you have to balance everything at home, you have to balance your training, your passion. And the main thing is don't lose sight of what you want to do, and don't let other people discourage you in that vision, because ultimately it's up to you. So no matter what, even if it's your parents or your friends or people that you're close to, it's up to you to do that. So you have to also be like smart about it and take criticism well, but also know that you have your own integrity. So everything's with a balance.
I like that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jonathan, for doing this episode of Legend Ethics. I really appreciate it. I mean, this is actually the OG T-shirt design.
Yeah, I got the OG one.
Yeah, it has the heart over the left and has Legend across the back. But I haven't been able to get. It's scheduling is always the hardest part too with doing episodes.
For sure.
Thank you very much for taking time out of your day to do this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
I mean, it's always it's always a pleasure. I mean, when I get to meet up with other Ace actors and just catch up, because we do see each other at these events.
Yeah.
But it's always nice being able to just sit down, catch up one-on-one.
Yeah, like hang out.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because I mean, when it's everyone there, it's like there's so much going on, but it's always nice to catch up, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, be sure to like and subscribe to the Legend Ethics channel to hear from more amazing guest stars, sharing their dreams and unique stories, and it's very personal, and they're sharing their words of wisdom, and I find it so inspiring. So I hope you guys do as well. And be sure to check out legendethics.com, check out the different apparel. There's different colors, different designs, and see what you like. And if you'd like to do an episode, contact me. Please do. Reach out through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I mean, reach out through any of those outlets, and I'd love to hear your story. I mean, comment down below in the comment section down below. So I'd love to hear from you guys. And yeah, I will be posting Jonathan's Instagram and his social media, so you can stay up to date with everything.
Sweet.
This guy's always posting stuff.
Cool.
It's always fun
Yeah.
watching his stories. He's always posting stuff. It's always interesting. And other than that, let's build the Legend Crew, guys. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.